Before coming to Manchester City, Yaya Toure had played in Belgium, Ukraine, Greece, France and Spain. But the big difference that he noticed in English football compared to any league in Europe was the physicality. In Spain, he remembers, if I collected the ball from the defender, I felt like I had close to 10 seconds on the ball. In the Premier League, it was maybe 3 seconds. In those early games, I would take the ball from the defender with my back to the centre circle and then bam. So you see, this just kept happening, and he thought it would be impossible for him to ever adjust. But he would, becoming one of the finest midfielders in the league's history, and a conversation with a Manchester City club physio helped him to develop the armoury to deal with that physical challenge. You see, the physio suggested building the strength in his hips and his backside as a way of absorbing the shock of the contact. It sounds funny, Toure told The Athletic, but your bum can be a very important tool when you play football. It can create a moment of space between you and another player, so you have more time with the ball. And there was a really good example of this in 2018 during the Manchester derby when Raheem Sterling took the ball to the corner flag late in the game. 2 or 3 United players came over to get the ball from him, but he held them off with sharp, quick movements with his hips down low and both feet planted on the ground. Harry Kane is another that Toure identifies as using his bum well, particularly when he has his back to goal against defenders. And N'Golo Kante can be very hard to dispossess too. He's a short player anyway, but by sticking his backside out, his centre of gravity becomes even lower when receiving the ball, with the effect, Toure thinks, that tackling him must feel like kicking a stone. He also noticed a funny moment during Portugal's game with Germany, when Renato Sanches had the ball and Emre Can was trying to steal it. Toure played against Can and remembers him as a strong player, but when he tried to shock Sanchez, he ran straight into his bum and fell over. And Toure also played against Eden Hazard. He estimates that, because he's so dangerous, Hazard has less than 5 seconds before the opposition are on him. When the ball arrives, Toure says, he can already sense the opponent coming towards him, so he waits until the last moment and uses his bum to block them. It pushes the opponent away, almost like a punch, and then, when he's opened up the space between him and the defender, he will power away and start an attack. Other players have similar traits too. Antoine Griezmann, for example, as well as Luis Suarez and Toure's former teammate Sergio Aguero. But there's no one better at it than Eden Hazard. There are, of course, an array of players at the Euros who play in a similar way, regardless of their different body types. Romelu Lukaku and Paul Pogba, for instance, who use their backsides to create more time to control the ball with their technique, or even smaller players like Kante, who can use the technique of their hips and their bum to be more physical when they need to be. Toure didn't develop the ability until later in his career, mainly because he didn't need to. When I was at Barcelona, as I was one of the bigger players, the referees would give fouls more if a player charged at me. For smaller players, however, learning to create that extra time is imperative. I played with Lionel Messi too, and there was nearly always someone on him when he tried to dribble, but he managed to always get out of the tackle. When you use your bum properly, you have greater time to get better control of the ball and get out from tight spaces, and people pressing you, which is one of the big challenges in the modern game. The bum is a secret weapon that nobody really talks about.